Okay, look at this, guys. We just made a run for it, and we got to Indian Creek here. Wavey's like wants to go to shore. We got here right at dark. I think this is a record day, about 43 miles from dusk till dawn. Or no, dawn till dusk. That's it. Indian Creek. Gotta go find a place to anchor. Go, go, go. Good morning, guys and gals. So we are about 40 miles from Pickwick Dam in a little creek called Indian Creek. And you probably have already seen by the time you're watching this that we went all day yesterday. We hit the river right at dawn and just went all day until dark, basically right when it was getting dark. We went 42 miles, river miles, and I think that's a record for this trip. And it was a nice day, just a perfect day to travel. The wind was mostly at our back, and yeah, now we're looking around this little area. We pulled up to someone's dock. They're right in front of their house, but it looks like they're not home. And, you know, we're not hurting anything. We're going to leave here in just a little bit. So, yeah, how about if I turn the phone around and I'll show you guys. It's another one of these little Tennessee communities, little river communities. Lots of campers and little houses on stilts and stuff. Here's my favorite little camp. Okay, guys, I'm going to try to reiterate this to you guys while it's fresh in my mind. So we are slowly making our way up to Pickwick Dam, and there's more to this than there appears. The closer you get to the dam, even in winter pool when they're not letting much water through, increasingly gets more current the closer you get to it. Now right now we're like 30 miles away from it and the current's almost non-existent. But it'll start to increase and exponentially in about the last 6 or 7 miles because of the turn in the river. The water bottlenecks, and that last 5 or 6 miles will just increase a lot in comparison to whatever you're experiencing this far down. I called the lockmaster at Pickwick. I just got off the phone with him. That's why while I can remember all this. Super nice guy. What a nice fella. He just spent, I don't know, 10 minutes on the phone with me, and he was explaining he's like, now if we're locking a double through and you need to tie off somewhere, go into this spot. And he was explaining to me where it was, but he's like, more than likely that's not going to be the case, and we're going to put you through the main chamber. But if let's say we have a towboat coming through the main chamber, you can just go tie off in the auxiliary. He's like, we're on channel 14. I'll be working tomorrow. We'll monitor it. Give us a call about an hour before you get here, and I'll look on my computer and tell you where all the traffic's at and whether you'll be getting here and opening up right away. And or, you know, it's like, what a nice thing. It just blows my mind that generally they're so friendly to just little old us, little old people like us, not just us, to you too, and little old Wavey, and just, man, I don't know. It just makes you feel special, makes you feel like makes you feel privileged. And I know that word's been ruined, you know, in this day and age. People will accuse you of being privileged, but No, we're very privileged. We're a privileged people that are very blessed, and there still is remnants of that. And I love when I get reminded of that, because I can get pretty pessimistic about the way the world's going. So we are slowly making our way to Pickwick. It's calm. It's a calm little leg of the journey in the whole scheme of things, but at the same time, it's there's things to be paying attention to. So thanks for listening, guys. Hopefully that helps somebody. Stay tuned. I pulled the camera out to show you guys this really quick. I couldn't let this pass by. So look at this. This house had a landslide, and it brought all that down. I guess that would be one of the dangers of living on the river right here. Okay, guys and gals, so we are coming into Savannah, Tennessee, which is the last town on this side of the Pickwick Dam to speak of. And we are only about 17 miles from the Pickwick Dam, and we're going to stop at the speed we're going. If I tried to get up to Pickwick, it would be getting dark, and I just don't want to do that. So we're going to stop here tonight, hopefully. I mean, one way or another, we're going to stop here tonight. And you can see there's the bridge there, and I think I'm seeing some docks that might be potential places to stop. So why don't you come along with us, and we're gonna figure this out. So stay tuned. Okay, guys, so I'm calling my buddy who I met a couple days ago. Don is his name. He's got that shanty boat that you probably have seen by now by the time I'm making this video. And I'm just trying to figure out where to stop in Savannah here. That white house right there has some serious history to it, which maybe we'll get back to in this video or a future video. Lots of history in this town of Savannah, like Civil War type stuff. But for now, I got to figure out where we're gonna hunker down and not be in anybody's way. So continue to stay tuned, guys. We're coming up to the public park and the public dock here, and there's someone doing Fast and Furious donuts in the parking lot, which might be helping me decide what I'm gonna do here. Okay, we grabbed this dock on the other side of the river, and it is a private dock. Let me show you. But we're gonna go walk around and see if we might be able to talk to somebody about letting us stay for the night. And if they say no or we can't find anybody, there's other docks we can try. See, the thing is, probably no one would even know we're here. This is the time of year where no one's here. The time of the week. It's Tuesday, and folks come around on the weekends, and in the winter they might not even come here at all. So I'm tempted to just kind of hang out there, and if someone says something, to just ask them. It's that whole saying of like, it's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission, especially when you're not really doing it's a victimless crime. But we are going to look around here for a few minutes and see if there might be another one. I think there might be like a little bar over here that has their own dock. I'll check that one out. Okay, so in this case, it was easier to ask permission than it was for forgiveness. I met the neighbors of the fella who owns this dock. Their name is Danny and Darlene. And they said, well, he's not even here this time of year, and he's a really nice guy, and he'd probably say yes. So we can't say for sure, but I'd say it's probably not a problem. And I said, okay, I think that's good enough for me. And Danny is going to run me up to the gas station in about an hour, and I'm going to get some gas. So maybe I'll get a little footage of that. I don't like to just whip out my camera. No one likes it. I don't know how Bald and Bankrupt does it, where he gets all that candid footage of all these strangers, but I can't figure out how to do it. But okay, guys, we got permission, so stay tuned. Private dock. Yeah, private dock. Maybe I'll get his phone number or something. Maybe they'll have his phone number. I'd feel extra secure if I could call him and ask. But you can see, you get down here, and there's the berm here, and no one even knows you're here. If you just stayed down here, didn't go walking around, I don't think anyone even know you're here. You know, I have a floating dock up on Ontonagon River, and maybe I'll get a chance someday to pay it forward or pay it back, or however direction you describe that. And someone's gonna pull up, getting off of some Lake Superior storm, and being like, "Can we tie up to your dock?" And I'll say, "How'd you get under the trestle?" If you can get under the trestle, then you can stay as long as you want. That's the rule. "16 miles from Pickwick Dam at 4 miles an hour. Stay tuned." Good morning, guys and gals. So, welcome to day three of climbing to Pickwick Dam. That's what it feels like. There's a little bit of current. It's not bad at all compared to 5 years ago. And it was flooding 5 years ago. I had no idea because I had nothing to compare it to. Feels like a walk in the park this time, but nonetheless, it does feel like you're climbing to Pickwick. There's just something about it. You're just kind of like you're going uphill, even though we're not going uphill. and then it's it's like a treadmill. It's like one of those points of diminishing returns where like the closer you get, the harder it gets until you finally just bust through, and then you're on Pickwick Lake. So that's our milestone for the moment on the trip, is the last, I don't know, we're probably 12, 13 miles away from Pickwick Dam. And there's not much to show you, to tell you the truth. Just a lot of houses on the hillsides and a calm little river. The last of the Tennessee River. Actually, it's not. No, the Tennessee River keeps going. But we will be hitting the Tenn-Tom soon. So thanks for sticking around, guys. We got a lot more to come. We're not even off the rivers yet. And then we got the Gulf and Florida and the East Coast and the Erie Canal and possibly the Great Lakes. We will see. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, just checking in with you here. You can see that we are like about an hour away from the Pickwick Dam, and the current keeps picking up, but I just keep increasing the RPMs. And I'll say it. I'll turn the phone around and say it again. Make sure you have enough horsepower in the back of your shanty boat. Okay. As you get within maybe 5 miles of the Pickwick Dam here, you're starting to see some of these. They do have names. I can't remember what it is, but they're basically, big pillars in the water where the barges, if they're doing the same thing we're doing, coming up to the dam, and let's say the dam, is locking through other boats and they have to stall for a while, they can just tie up to these, these giant pillars here. You see them all over the rivers. It's not like this is the only place, but this is the first ones I've seen in quite a while on the Tennessee River here. So, and in a pinch, I suppose we could even tie up to one, And then just while I'm out here, I look at this. Holy cow! I wonder what the story is of that. Looks like a nice place once burned out or something. Maybe got flooded. All right, guys. So we are coming up to the last bend on the Tennessee here, coming up to the Pickwick Dam, and I gave the lockmaster a call. It's the same one I talked to yesterday. Nicest guy. I hope he's there. I hope he comes out. I hope I can wave to him and say howdy in person. And he looked on his computer. He says, I think called it IRS. It's basically a transponder that all the barges have. And he said there's nobody in either direction for a couple hours, so I'll probably be able to just walk right on through. He even told me what chamber to come up to. I'm going to go ahead and turn my radio on to channel 14 when I get within eyesight of them, because that's usually the only time it starts to work. And then I'll give them a call, and I think it's going to be easy peasy, just sailing right on through. I just went back and topped off the fuel tank. So, man, it's night and day difference from 5 years ago when we ran out of gas and getting dark, and oh, what a crazy time that was. That was a life-changing experience I will never forget. So, okay, guys, thanks for... This is probably a strange video in comparison to most of them, because it's, you know, this is just kind of what we're doing. We are climbing to Pickwick, slowly climbing to Pickwick. We're like mountain climbers here, so stay tuned. Let me try to get this for you guys. That right there is a loon. That is an iconic bird up in my neck of the woods, up in the Northland. When you see those, they are, you know, they do that cry, that wah. They sound like a woman crying. And to see one down here is pretty cool. Okay, guys and gals, we are getting our first glimpse of Pickwick. Right around the corner right there. Smooth sailing. Easy, easy approach. Easy day. Piece of cake. So I'm going to give the lockmaster a call again. He said to call him when I can see the dam with my own eyes. I wish I could record that for you. Such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. But I got to use my phone and talk on it at the same time. So, but we'll give him a call, let him know we're coming, and then I'll turn the phone back around and show you guys. It's not unlike many of the locks you've already seen on this series, but a little more of a big deal because it's holding back a big lake, and it can get hard to come in. But this time it was a piece of cake. So, okay, guys, stay tuned. So we're just in a holding pattern here, just kind of slowly waiting for the gates to open. Should just be a couple minutes. Look at this contented man just fishing on the bank there. We will be using our bigger bumpers that were given to us by a subscriber in front of the channel. You know who you are. Thank you very much for that. It's going to come in very handy. And this lock and all the way down the Tenn-Tom. Keep the gutters off the sides. We're just floating in, and they just started opening for us. There's the green light to look for. It was on yellow while they're opening the doors. It's an absolute giant of a lock and dam. So you can, I'll try to focus here. You can see these pins have numbers on them. He said either grab number 2 or number 7. We're going to go down to number 7 because it sounds like that would be the one with the least amount of turbulence when they're flooding this massive chamber here. All right, we're slowly making our way to number 7. We're passing 5 right now. I was concerned that we were going to be too close to the gates, but I called him on the radio, and he said there's 70 feet between the gate and number 7. So we're just going to go ahead and do what he says. This is so cool, guys. Well, I'm just drifting to pin number 7, which is right there. We're going to grab onto it in just a second. Lucky number 7, all tied up. Now they're closing up the gates behind us. And just while I'm back here, I love you, my workhorse, if I haven't told you lately. We're going to change the oil the next couple days. It's about due. You're like the princess and the pea. Slowly making its way up. bigger bumpers are working beautifully. Thank you so much. You know who you are. They're opening up the gates for us, guys. We're almost through. Okay, guys, this Lockmaster has a Facebook page, and he puts pictures of people that go through. He's going to put us on there. So go ahead, sir.
Just look up Pickwick Lock on Facebook. Should be the first thing that comes up.
Okay. Pickwick Lock on Facebook.
Pickwick Lock on Facebook.
Okay. And you put pictures of people that go through on that page.
When they come through on my shift,
yeah,
I put them up and all.
Okay.
So you'll be up there in a little while.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's that bubbling right there?
That is my air bubbles. We use those. You'll notice that they're in the heel of the gates.
Yeah.
Right in the middle. Everywhere the gates come together, we have an air bubbler to keep the trash washed out.
Gotcha.
And air is a very efficient way to do that.
All right, guys. I can already tell we're moving faster. There's no more current. I just had about a 10-minute long conversation with the Lockmaster there. He was giving me all sorts of good advice on how to lock up to or tie up to the pins. Best way to do that. And I untied before he blew the horn. He just very nicely chastised me to not do that in the future. So yeah, oh man, I just love these. I love the lock and dams. I love these Lockmasters. They are doing it. They are unsung heroes in America, hands down. We are officially on Pickwick Lake. Another milestone. Beautiful day. Loving life. The long climb up the hill to Pickwick. We're planting our flag and on our way to the Tenn-Tom, guys. Stay tuned. I've been on this boat for so long that I can kind of feel what it's doing through my feet. And up here, once we got through the Pickwick Dam, the current, like I can't feel the current through the floor anymore. It's like we're kind of gliding now, like more effortlessly. And you know, it's when a captain becomes one with his boat. You know, it's pretty cool. You got to spend months though on the same boat every day before you can get that finely attuned. I want to give you a little bit of footage of Pickwick Lake here because we're not going to be spending much or really any time on it. The mouth of the Tenn-Tom waterway just starts like basically right over there. But we're going to be going a couple miles past it to a little cove that has a waterfall that I've been told about by another shanty boater just a few days ago. Dawn, maybe by the time you watch this you might have already seen some footage of him. He's got a shanty boat and he drove us around his little county for a couple days. That was very nice of him, and I really took a liking to him. I wasn't sure at first, and then after hanging out for a day or two I was like, I like this guy a lot. So I've been calling him a couple times a day and giving him reports of where we're at and such. So hopefully he's watching and hopefully he hears this. And you won me over, buddy. I can tell you're a little eccentric, but so am I, and I dig that. So but yeah, we are going to go to this little spot that he told us about. He's done this trip. He went down the whole Black Warrior and he's been all over these rivers, you know, back in his day. So we're going to check it out. Hopefully it's going to be as nice as he says it is, and let's find out together, guys. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, we're coming up to another one of those interesting state lines where we are in 3 states at once. They're pretty darn close. I'll try to show you on here. It would be Mississippi, Tennessee, and Alabama. So let's see when we cross it in a minute or two whether we feel any different. My name's Wavey Gravy, star of the channel. Send me treats or else. Wow, look at this pretty. There's rock formations here. We're gonna go ahead and just beach it in this gravel.